should be able to see my screen now. Can you?
Yes.
Yep.
Excellent. Okay, so Roger Keating from LaBelle Associates here. Yeah, I'd be happy to walk you through the plan. I believe you were provided the plan that you see here on the screen, which outlines the overall site development plan, but puts a greater emphasis on some of the amenities and such that we are proposing from a recreational standpoint for the planned community. Just a big overview is we have 164 units planned for the project. 80 of those are senior apartments. The senior apartments are located here on this side of the site with a townhome style unit for what we're calling like the family apartments or workforce housing. We have a townhome style unit that's in the center. That's kind of the central lawn, the central common areas here for folks to be able to use the outdoors as part of the site. We have a community building up here right as you come into the site. Golden Hill Drive is over here. This is the main driveway that would take you up and into the jail today. And then lastly, we have another multi-story building here, and that's more of this same style of apartment, you know, that family style workforce housing component that we have planned there. The project has a wide variety of green space and recreational components all throughout the site. I'll start just briefly at the senior building. So the senior building, we have in the rear, we have some outdoor picnic space, picnic and seating areas. Also, we have community gardens in the rear of the project site for the facility. So the folks will be able to have their own garden space right there outside of the units. We have some fitness areas, also intergenerational play areas. Here, we're really trying to promote that intergenerational component here as well. So we have the ability to have some of those fitness areas and some play tables and things like that as an amenity out in front of the building as well. There's bike racks that are all throughout the project site. When we get to the central lawn or the central green space here, really this is an active area of the site. We're really promoting people to use the outdoors. We have a series of playgrounds located throughout the site. So play equipment in designated areas, as you can see here. Plenty of outdoor seating areas. Once again, lots of green space, more fitness areas outdoors for the residents, as well as additional play areas. We have some additional outdoor seating areas next to the community building. These play areas are focused primarily on people using the community building. There's a daycare that's proposed as part of the community building space for up to 30 children. So these playscapes will be primarily focused along the lines of supporting that activity. And then as we come down through the site, again, more green space and landscaping, but we have another outdoor fitness area and picnic area here. We're situated at the top of the hill. We have got, great views looking, out to the mountains towards the nursing facility. And then we also have some pathways that take you down to where we have a stormwater and a bioretention area, and also a wooded pathway that will take you from the upper portion of the project through the wooded areas and ultimately down to where the roadway is, and then that ultimately links up with the multi-use paths and sidewalks that we have in the corridor there. So that's a pretty broad overview. Also on the line is Will. Will, is there anything you'd like to add to just the big overview of the recreational components that we've proposed?
No, thank you so much for walking through, Roger. Just want to introduce myself. My name is Will Devella. I'm development manager at Penrose. We're a Philadelphia headquartered company, but I'm in the New York office and operate throughout the state, working on this project over the past year with the Ulster County team. And a big part of their goals for this project that we've been working to execute on is to maximize the incredible location that this site presents, including the view sheds of the mountains to the west that Roger mentioned, but also just trying to maximize the amount of open space here to create areas of activity for people to meet and hang out outside. This is it's an intergenerational, affordable community, in that we have a large senior population with more passive recreation areas like the community garden area and places to sit and overlook the mountains. They probably have the best spot there behind the senior building, the best views. But also there's some adult fitness and areas as well throughout the site. And the idea was to bring people of different ages, and it's a mixed income project as well, so different income ranges together outside and really help build a diverse and dynamic community through that. So this was part of the RFP response, is to create a really compelling outdoor space with lots of amenities, and this is our best shot at that, and we're pretty excited about that, and our community building that backs up onto this green space as well. So that's all. Thank you so much for hearing us, and happy to answer any questions.
Great. I appreciate it. Does anybody have any questions about this at this time?
I don't.
Well, Yep. All right. We have a couple questions, guys.
So what is the income, when you mentioned that, and you mentioned that there's senior housing, is it gonna be income based, or is it that there's gonna be some areas that are for lower income? Can you just explain that?
Yeah, absolutely. So this project is a mix of affordable and workforce housing. The affordability ranges go pretty deep. There's some deeply affordable housing being built up at Golden Hill. A lot of that is in our senior building. And we also have a number of special needs populations, victims of domestic violence, and certain individuals who are deemed to be frail, elderly, which will be located in the senior building as well. Mixed throughout that is, people of slightly higher income ranges. It's still affordable housing. It's beneath market rate. But that's a lot of the families, and mixed throughout the townhouses and the other mid-rise buildings. So it's a mix of incomes throughout the site, which we thought was appropriate to kind of create a diverse community up there.
And do you have information about how the application process would work? Would you prioritize people from the area, or would it just be based on application, income driven? What's the process for that?
So there's income restrictions for this housing community. There will be, and it's the laws are designated by the state, which follow the federal low-income housing tax credit program. And it's an application. There's a lottery system for which you submit an application, and from there, we pick from the lottery, and that's who gets chosen here. It's based on fair housing laws that we have to abide by. Did that answer your question adequately?
Yeah. I'm also wondering too about the part with the multi-generational recreation space. Can you just give some examples of some things that'll be included in those areas?
Sure. And I wish I'd brought my landscape designer on to speak specifically about the equipment that they were envisioning. But I can say certainly that some of the amenities outside the senior building are meant for more passive recreation, such as the grove in the back with a seating area for people to enjoy the view, but also the planting area. And then we're going to have some adult or elderly aged equipment for exercise throughout. And then if you look throughout the site as well, you'll see playgrounds that are meant, for children of normal age, and then some young age, there children playground equipment as well. Some near the community center, and then some throughout the site dispersed as well.
And will this area, the more public areas between the community, will that also be open up to the rest of the city, or is that just closed off into people who live within that community that you're building?
So the site will have connections to the rest of the community, but we can't stop people from accessing the property. We're going to bring up a public bus stop to the site, which will be right next to the community building, and we have a trail connection coming up from the Empire State Trail as well. But it is private property. But again, we can't stop people from entering the community.
Okay, thank you.
Will you guys be the ones maintaining the trail going down to the Empire State Trail?
Yes, that will be our responsibility as owner of the land. We'll maintain the trail.
Okay.
Travis, it's like you were listening to me before you. I have a couple questions just following off of that, or more exactly, that same question. So is there any intention now or in the future that this property would be taken on by the city or expected to maintain any part of the facility or the recreational parts? Has there been any request or expectation that would happen down the line?
No expectation of that at all. This property will be our responsibility.
Okay. Thank you.
How many units did you say?
In total, it's 164 housing units.
Okay, thank you.
That's it? All right, well, thank you guys. We're gonna probably chat about this a little bit further and go over it with some of our other commissioners. And if we have additional questions, is email the best way to send those along?
That works for me.
Okay, great. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for hearing from us. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
It wasn't $1, $1, for the housing. You know what I'm saying? Nothing was mentioned about.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, I had to, they were still.
Oh, like an income.
Like you said, I think it's federal based, so it's anywhere from, up to 30.
Was that so you wanted more specifically, like what, yeah, is that what it was?
I mean, I could always, of course, look it up.
Right.
Yeah, I think I was wondering, just to make sure that everybody can get access to it.
Right.
Or a chance to,
Because that came up with a different project, I believe, that what some people consider affordable versus, but if they're saying they're following federal guidelines, I mean, it still may not be the number that you or I might think of, like,
Right.
What we consider affordable might be different than.
Right.
in the process too, they said fair housing.
Right.
But sometimes it does happen when we have things that are built here.
Mhm.
A lot of people do live here already, aren't able to move.
Well, that's more or less the question. Like
Yeah.
you said, the lottery basis is actually
Right.
local people,
Right. That was a good question, yeah,
which is usually, it's just.
right.
Is the
Right.
senior, do you think, an over 55 community? Or do you, I
Yeah,
mean,
But they mentioned also opening it to, special
Needs.
Right, right.
Special situations.
sorry,
Percentage.
I didn't know if there was an age for the senior.
Right, wait, that's a good question too.
Because that could change the price point for the,
Mhm.
over the senior community.
There's the minimum.
Yeah, right.
So the one question I have, not necessarily for them at this time, but so essentially they're providing a recreation facility.
That's, what I said to you
Yeah.
before it started. I don't know if we get the fee.
I don't think
I
we
don't
do.
think we do.
It doesn't really
Because
apply.
we get a recreation fee if there isn't any recreation
Right.
provided.
Like if they're gonna be utilizing resources within the city, so I mean, I think,
That
yeah.
you
I
would
don't
have
see
to
how.
ask common council.
I think I'll
What
talk with,
applies.
yeah, I'm gonna talk to, planning tomorrow and
Okay,
just ask
which is-
them. I mean, based on everything they've provided and sent, I mean, that's also why we were asking about the ownership and stuff. I mean, there's.
I also think if it exceeded an X number of units,
Oh, that's true,
there
that
was another clause in there.
regardless of if they have no facility.
Or exceeded or didn't meet. It went,
Okay,
yeah, you might want to, because it's been a while since new development, like, or not, that we've, but that's an amazing facility if it's providing.
Right, because most things that we've covered before has been like an apartment.
Yeah, right, a
building
complex.
with 8
With less-
units or
right,
whatever.
Yeah,
I don't remember a bigger one.
right.
Because you said
It
that,
was a
that
couple of years
paperwork that
ago.
you saw was from when?
2016, I think.
16.
Yeah, I
We
think
haven't
so.
had one since then?
No, I think the one that we were asked about last year, the what, Lucas Avenue, right? And I don't actually know how that panned out.
I don't
I
even
don't know
know.
if that anything even,
It got
But I think
tricky
in
at
that-
times.
in that
to-
email, Liz, is that charter,
Yeah,
there's a
So-
chart, okay.
or like at least like the stipulations that Ellen's
Yeah.
talking about. I believe, it, I
Yeah.
remember reading it as well. when
it,
we were
it,
going
it
through that.
always
I don't remember off the
needed
top
to
of my head,
be,
but I might be able to go
it,
through
like,
it.
we missed maybe some that we were entitled to, I
So
mean,
that
through
we
the
didn't
years.
get.
Yeah,
And also the builders weren't aware that they had to
Yeah,
pay
right.
these fees as well.
what happens if they add on? Is that
I
something
still
else?
think, I know, I think if it exceeds the number of units, I think they still have to comply.
Yes.
Okay, so I will reach out to Kyla and planning tomorrow and just verify what other questions, or excuse me, what other information we might need to make a decision, or things that we should consider, like number of units and.
Yeah,
Okay.
the other one that's, I remember was right by Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Chicken right there,
So there
that
was
new one.
the new.
Right.
I mean, maybe it's not new now, but
Yeah.
at the time they
It's pretty
built
new.
several units, maybe 16 or more.
Right.
It's deceiving to look at that.
Yes.
But almost, they fought a little bit, the builders or contractors, right?
They didn't feel
Not
that.
argue it, but they, it's an additional fee on their end. And
Right.
they, want to get clarification, I guess.
Is that the one?
But they
you
had
looked at?
I think it
no
was.
recreational
Yes.
facility.
The one-
Right, it's just a small.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like,
That might be it.
to think they plugged it in there, that little
Yeah.
lot. was
Right,
impressive.
right, yeah.
But I, looking at that, don't you wish we could get a lot of the fee from
Yeah.
that kind of?
Right, yeah.
God,
Oh, yeah, that would be perfect.
benefit immensely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Is there any money in that account anymore?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
Directly. There's
Okay.
like,
Okay.
I have to look at the exact numbers. I mean, we've built some projects, we've had
Okay,
some stuff
okay.
come out,
That's
but
good.
it's somewhere with like 300,000,
Oh,
somewhere
nice,
staying there.
okay.
Yeah, there's a.
I
there's a
didn't
good
know if
chunk.
you could even draw on it, if you
Yeah,
could, but
we,
that's nice. to
we
know.
still have to go, like even, because I think during the pandemic, we went to the council about like 6 or 7 projects. And there are some that we weren't able to do, whether it had to do with supplies being too much, not getting the appropriate quotes. And we didn't necessarily complete them in that same year, so we had to then go back and ask again.
Okay.
And so if now we decided we want to use that money for, I don't know, new playground academy or something.
Okay, sure, nice.
That would happen, but just as an example, that we would have to go and
Right.
request that $70,000 or something. But yeah,
That's awesome, good.
um,
When is
Alright.
this going to be, like, I know, I'm sorry, I didn't get to.
Oh,
it's all
ground
Is it in the works, like, I know the jail was being demolished, right?
yeah, I don't think they started yet.
Oh,
did they?
okay,
I don't think they can until,
Maybe you could-
yeah.
yeah, okay.
So they went, the CAC, made some recommendations and things that they want to see, where they fall on the checklist of, comparison to the open space plan and, are they following, environmental guidelines, and, there's just a ton of things that they mentioned in their report, that Sue Cahill did share with me, so I can share that with you guys if you're interested. But yeah, I'm glad you asked about the trail, because that was one of the questions
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that Sue mentioned too. So,
But am I remembering correctly, even if they have a breakfast, like, I don't know how big the
Right.
common, when you asked
Right.
about the playground. I don't know if there was something about, with 164 units, I know half might be senior,
right.
but I think that playground has to fit the needs of the
All
number of
the kids. No,
occupants,
you're
right?
right, yeah.
So
We
I
might
don't
get
know, there
something.
might, you might be
Yeah.
entitled to.
To a certain amount.
Percentage of, just so, like, they might say the number, but
Right.
heck, a little further maybe,
Right.
right? And,
So
because
I'll-
they'll be using deeds, you know,
Yeah, they're gonna be
Right,
using
and
all
the
the
fo-
nearby.
not deeds, right, well,
The
foresight,
park,
like
right.
everything.
But
And the
yes.
Empire.
Yeah, right.
And they have a, so, am I seeing that right? They had a pool?
No, that-
No.
No, I
it's a
thought so.
Wetland, like.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I saw
Yeah.
something with a
I
diving
don't
board.
think
and
I
that's
did.
it. By the
No.
trail, no?
He mentioned, no, it's a, I
Like a
don't think-
little lake
That's
or
like-
something,
Okay.
right?
It's the water purification.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
No,
So,
How does it work with, so if we, as a city, we're saying.
Parks and Rec program.
Parks and Rec program gets
Yeah.
a fee if the recreation needs aren't met by either.
Mhm.
For
Yes.
developments like this.
yeah,
Or
And-
smaller,
right.
too.
Well, right, I
Right.
just mean like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
multiple-
anything, yeah.
Yeah, like if they're not providing, like, that's a good point though, is, yeah, they may be providing all these things, but is that playground gonna serve all the kids that are
Right.
gonna be living there?
Right.
How much of our park land and properties are they gonna need to use for, you know, to meet the needs of their community? 164 units,
That's
doesn't
a
say how
big-
many people that is
Right.
also, and like you mentioned, deeds, I mean, they don't have a full-size track, they don't have a pool there, and, you know, those are all amenities that they're gonna be utilizing, so there probably is a small portion that we could recommend.
Yeah, in my memory, we've talked about so many, like, the developers didn't even know there was a fee associated with each unit,
Right.
which, you know, they didn't budget for that or whatever, but they were required to
Yeah,
pay, right?
so let me, yeah, I'm
And
gonna.
then I have just one question. Is it all city of Kingston land or do we share some of it with the county? Because
Oh.
the jail was a county.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know if we got money
It's
from
still
it.
City of Kingston.
It is,
It is.
it is.
So whether it's owned
All
by
of
the
it?
county, it's still City of Kingston.
No, but does it turn into town of Ulster,
Ulster.
I guess, because is
Because
there a
all
piece of that, because they mentioned the trail, where it comes out on the trail, is that?
I'm just thinking,
I think that's town.
well, I know like
It's on, yeah, because
Kingston goes up to like Glen Street goes all the way up,
yeah,
right? And that's where, but I don't know if it's all city of Kingston. I don't know.
oh, that's a good question, though.
You know,
That was
because
a good
once you go up Pearl or you go up Maine, then all of a
Yeah,
sudden
right,
you
right,
get
right.
into town of Ulster.
Yeah.
There is I don't know if it, I still think it's City of Kingston the more, I think, because I actually drove past where the treatment plant was recently,
Okay,
and it's, I believe where you get off, it's before the chateau. Or like the chateau is still City of Kingston.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure that
Okay.
property is
All right.
before that. But you're right, I don't, you know, those lines get a little blurred
Yeah.
once you're out.
I don't know.
Okay, that's a good question, though.
I'm sure it is if Sue, you know,
Right, she hasn't mentioned anything about
Right.
town of Ulster.
right. I'm sure if she's been,
All right, do you guys, does anybody else have any questions you want me to get clarification on? All right, and I would ask this, of like internally before
Yes.
sending anything.
Yes.
City of Kingston.
it
Is
is.
it?
Okay, thank you.
That's good. Cross that
You
one
don't
off.
have to ask.
All right. Well, Maureen is not able to make it tonight. We do have a quorum, thank goodness. Is anyone interested in chairing this meeting so we can officially call it to order? Technically, we did not do that.
I can try if I remember.
Okay.
You want to do it?
No, you can do it. I'll second. Do we,
Yeah, so I'll look at the first bullet for the agenda, and do we have?
I guess we just accept the old
Yeah,
business. Okay,
The minute, the
minutes.
minutes from.
So do we accept the old
May.
minutes? from-
Yes.
Second,
Yes.
Okay.
in
It
favor?
makes it so much
Favor.
easier.
All in favor?
Aye. Okay.
So the first action, I think, Lynn, did we just discuss the
Yep, so we
Okay,
moved
so-
them up, yeah.
Lindsay's up with her program update.
I am, and I do have some things to share. So a couple of things. So as you know, we're already underway with our adult sports softball. We have our big shot over here.
Yeah.
How do you feel it's going, Travis? Yeah.
It's good.
Is it going all right? Chris is doing a good job?
He is doing a good job, actually. He's answering his phone, he's doing good. Not that I didn't do either, but it's just nice.
Yeah.
It's very,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's the way we're operating now. We do have two separate rep leaders, one for the men's division, one for the women's. I do think that it's helped keep everyone's sanity, really. It's a large program for one person to be doing both the men's and the women. So I think it's helping a lot having Andrew run the women's division and Chris running the men's. So that's going well. Women's, beach volleyball is being run by Casey. That seems to be going well, minus the rainouts. So we do have some makeups to take care of already, but it's a long season, so we're good. We also unfortunately have had quite a few COVID-related cancellations. Did that affect you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
We're not calling them forfeits. I think that in this, current climate that we are trying to just be reasonable with, the kinds of cancellations that are just inevitably going to come up. So we're just trying to do a bunch of makeups in that way. So, it's definitely going to increase the amount of makeups, but I think our staff have a good system for how we're going to try to do it this year. So we are gearing up for summer camp and tennis clinics, junior naturalists, all of our summer programs are beginning very soon. I think we're about 3 weeks out at this point. A lot of paperwork to finish up, but we have our CPR classes scheduled. We have our orientation classes scheduled. We're kind of in a good spot in terms of our to-do list. So that is moving along. We don't have to cap our attendance this year, other than the normal, So 72 is the max at each of our 4 parks. And I think junior naturalists caps at 26. So
Is sign up done?
we don't really ever
Oh.
stop it. I mean, I
Okay.
think as if we have spaces, we try to allow
Okay,
people to
good.
sign up. Once the paperwork's into Department of Health, that's really kind of where I draw the line, but that tends to be very close to the actual start date. So that's going well. We've been, people that are submitting financial aid forms. We've been trying to work with people that need assistance. And I think that's giving parents some peace of mind, trying to send kids to camp at an affordable price. So that's something we're trying to really focus on this year. Swim lessons, those are underway. So if anyone is looking for swim lessons, I believe there's still some availability for that. We will have the pool schedule out shortly. I know we've got a couple of phone calls, so if anyone asks you about that, I believe we're trying to incorporate an extra hour for lap swim. I just don't know what day that was, so it's a big one.
Are we set on lifeguards?
We are, so thank you for
Wow.
asking. So since our
Wow.
last meeting,
Could you just hear?
oh my goodness, so we put out more promotion than ever before. We've worked with CSEA to try to push for rate increases for the seasonal staff. Because as you know, the full-time employees got raises this year. So we're still trying to finalize what the rates will be for seasonal staff, but we were able to kind of give them a nice bump up, which I think helped in promoting the positions.
Good.
So, we actually are at the point where we don't have too many. I feel like
Yeah, I
we
was
can't, I
just
don't
saying,
ever want to say that. But
Right.
it's interesting because a lot of the kids that have signed, I say kids, they're adults, but some of them are like teenagers, high school kids. And they're working like between Willwick, Kingston, and a few other, facilities. So,
Sorry, yeah, sorry. They keep waving.
Yeah.
So even though it feels like we have, I think we're at like 18
Wow.
lifeguards, I don't even think that's including Mary Elizabeth, who's our aquatics director. But everybody is it's gonna be tough to schedule, like everybody has days they can't do or weeks
Right.
they can't do, so we kind of do need everyone to fill in the gaps. But in terms of keeping the beach and the pool open,
Good.
I mean, it
That's
really, I think we're in good shape, knock on wood, so. So yeah, so that's great. So yeah, the beach, I think I might have given you the wrong dates last time and I don't remember, I think I flopped them, but, or flipped them. But the beach is opening Father's Day weekend, so that'll
That's soon.
open, yeah, the 18th. Saturday, the 18th, and the pool will be opening the 25th. And then summer camp starts the 27th, so Mondays and Tuesdays will only be open to the summer camp programs.
Oh.
And so as soon as I get that schedule, I will share that with you. There's a few schedules I have to give you. Movies Under the Stars and Music in the Parks. Just gonna pass this around. This is our schedule, tentative. We have to make some adjustments on the format there, but July 9th is our first movie and music series. Soul is the movie. What was the music there? I actually didn't.
A jazz concert with the sweet spot.
So we have tried to kind of coordinate the two, like if we're doing a jazz, like Soul, as you know, is a musical jazz kind of movie. So we try to work with Arts and Cultural Affairs to make sure we're pairing it up with a jazz band. I think we're doing a canto at Hyde Park, and I believe there's, I don't know what the name of the band was, but there's a very specific band. that's chosen.
Alexander?
Yes, yeah. I was chosen for
Nice.
that specific event. And we found last year, just in our statistics, that we had a much bigger crowd anytime we did the music with the movie, so, I think people like to make a whole night of it, and if
Exactly.
you stick around for the movie after the music, it's,
Nice to know all the types of bands are around.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
yeah, you don't even hear of some of these
Oh,
guys, so.
yeah.
And it's good, it gives them exposure,
Yeah.
people, that's how they start to develop a following. Yeah. So we're really excited to bring that back and, we're doing a little bit more with it this year, which is nice, so. Okay, so Children's Day Parade is July 15th, I told you guys that, but, the theme has been chosen, and it is heroes.
Ah.
Yes, so
Very good.
heroes being, could be anything, fire
Right.
department, police department, teachers, superhero, it can be whatever these kids or participants see and think of as a hero. And we are going to end the parade at the Kingston Plaza. We are gonna have some music. The plaza and Herzog's have generously donated hot dogs and water, which would be nice. One thing I don't know that we have figured out is maybe some sort of like sweet treat. So if anybody has any suggestions, please feel free to share them. Because I don't know if that has been,
Not freeze pops, because they don't stay.
Yeah,
that's true, right?
Right?
That's right.
yeah, the 1 year.
1 year.
Was,
Oh.
yeah, it's tough, and it's the
Yeah.
same thing.
But they were great at the parks when we went to the parks.
Right,
Yeah.
right, yeah, in the
The
cooler,
cooler.
yeah.
But they just didn't stay. It was so hot.
Yeah, as I say, I remember the 1 year too, it's kind of difficult. You almost want to have like, they want to be like 2 stations, because when they had all their food too, they couldn't get the dessert at the end.
Yeah,
And that was tough too.
Yeah.
okay,
Because it just made a mess, like people were just dropping stuff. left
Right.
and right.
Yeah.
It was just too much. So even the sweet thing, I don't know.
okay.
Because there's nowhere to really sit,
It's
so you're
true.
eating your
Right,
hot dog
right.
and eating
And it
it.
has to
And then
be,
you're holding the cupcake or whatever.
Right,
It's
right,
just a
right.
huge mess. The napkins were everywhere.
yes.
All right,
I'm
well,
not trying to say deter.
Yeah.
But it just was,
oh, that's a good, that's why I asked you guys have seen it all before, so that's good.
but like you said, the freeze pop in theory would work. You
It
hold
would
but
if
it just wasn't
it's
the same.
frozen.
Right.
Right. And like a different station too. They all can't be together.
Right, that's a good point. All right,
What time's the parade usually?
so kickoff, well, lineup is at 4:30, I believe. Just not sure.
You always do that.
I did that the 1 year out.
Oh.
Well,
I'm down in the plaza.
did you contact, the police really took over with that?
Yes,
So
yeah,
that was
they-
much better.
But it's by the Y, right?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
people were very happy. that lived on Pine Grove.
Oh, doing,
But it
uh,
worked,
they-
it did
It
work.
did,
though,
it
right?
totally worked. Is that what you're
we are still
considering?
doing it on
Okay.
Pine Grove, yeah. I
But
mean,
the police presence was very
It's helpful.
effective, yeah, because
Right.
they're
Just
a
kidding.
little less.
I live here.
Yeah. Right, if we want, you know, do
Right.
something for the kids and.
Right, right.
Yeah.
It'll be out of your way.
Yes,
Right.
just give us an hour and a half, and we'll be
Right.
on our way.
Yeah.
So 4:30 is, lineup on Pine Grove and Mary's Ave. And I believe there's 6 o'clock is when it actually starts.
It's a busy time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it is. But the information has been sent out to all the, you know, internal departments, so, fire, police, DPW, the mayor's office is, gonna submit, an executive order as we get a little
Okay.
closer. I think in general, we're gonna get a good turnout, for sure. Oh, that's the other thing, the plaza is also donating t-shirts for the
Oh,
participants, yeah. So they're
Okay,
gonna incorporate the theme, like with the font logo and
that's
stuff,
nice.
so.
So
Yeah.
they'll get that before or after?
I think they're getting them before, I think before. Yes,
Yeah,
I think that was what I spoke to,
Okay.
to the folks there about. I think they're gonna try to get them to the parks that week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty
So
sure.
they
that's-
have them.
Yeah, so they can wear them and, have them there. So I think they're dropping a box off in each park location.
Okay.
I don't think, you know, we can't estimate for any additional participants, unfortunately.
Mhm.
We just don't have an idea until people, you know, start turning in the forms. So we are going to get this announced fairly soon. Today's the second. To speak with our communications director about when a good time is to kind of, you know, roll out, yeah. I'll find out when that is, but I will send you guys a copy of this. We have one quick edit to make on it, and then I will issue it to you guys so you have it as well.
Usually the fire department helps with the hot dogs, so I don't know. They usually cook them and everything.
Oh, so I don't know if they're, I think Herzog's and,
They're
the
gonna
Plaza,
do it?
Yep. That's
Okay,
it. That was-
great.
Great.
Great,
And we're gonna, the city, Parks and Rec is gonna, take care of, the DJ.
okay.
And so he's gonna stick around for a little bit, I would say probably about an hour or so, after everyone gets settled, kids can dance or whatever. Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be fireworks this year, though. There's no carnival that's coming to town.
Right, it's okay,
Yeah.
because it was such a long time.
Well, that's what, and that was part of, I guess, the concern is, you know, it's a lot for the plaza. I think they ended up doing a lot of
Yeah.
work, and I don't know how the carnival people were, but
Right.
I just think it ended up being a long day. It's still light out by the time we get down there.
But the fireworks, it isn't,
Right.
like it was 10:30.
Oh, yeah, they gotta wait for it to be.
You gotta wait.
Yeah.
and- oh,
Yeah, so I don't think that that's part of the plan this
Okay.
year. But
Are they gonna let people know that? You know, sometimes
Yeah.
people line up and they get their chairs in the parade. to watch
Oh, the chairs, like people
fireworks.
come like at 4
Yeah,
o'clock
so-
before the
I
parade.
mean, if it's not
Should
putting
they
in the
know
flyer.
I don't
Yeah.
think that
I mean,
fireworks.
Yeah, yeah, don't come
Oh,
fire.
it's not.
But it's, I mean, unfortunately, it's, this is actually, fireworks have always kind of been something I think coordinated.
plaza did it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I don't wanna like cause any issues or say anything about, you know, draw attention to it, I guess. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah, I agree.
I'm sure people are gonna ask questions, and if we get questions, we'll tell
Sorry.
people, yeah.
There's no
Unfortunately-
carnival, there's
Yeah.
no, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think, they haven't, obviously because of the pandemic, they haven't been back, but I think even before that, I don't think there was a plan to renew with them or, because they're, so I didn't know this, but we are like kind of an additional stop for them. Like this is a traveling carnival and they kind of squeeze Kingston in on their way upstate
wherever.
or something, yeah, wherever they're going next, so.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's the rundown on that. I think what else I have. We are gonna be opening up registration soon for the John Cook Memorial Basketball Camp. That'll be held after summer camp, so that's August 15th through the 19th. And we're also gonna open up registration for flag football soon, just to give a head start on getting people. You know, it's always funny, we always try to open it up earlier and earlier, but people don't necessarily, you know, it's hard to
I know,
think
it's
so
still
far
summer.
ahead.
Yeah.
But we, we unfortunately do have to think a little bit ahead and try to start planning for ordering jerseys, and it seems like things always end up at the last minute because people kind of register last minute, so, you know, do our best to try to avoid that, but, don't know if I missed anything in updates. Do you guys have any questions or anything that's been on your radar?
Well, last meeting we did talk about the stadium. We were talking about maybe getting someone to come in.
Yeah, Jack.
Could we get Jack to come in?
Yeah.
For one meeting?
Yeah, so actually, this might be a good time for me to mention this. So I'm actually not going to be here on the 7th, which is the next scheduled meeting.
Okay.
I was going to propose two options. And the one I already talked to Nancy, I don't think that would work anyways. I was going to say that we could let the July 22nd serve as our meeting because we're having the event. You know, we could do something a little bit afterwards or beforehand, you know, but that might not be a good idea. My second option was, if that is a good time, July 7th, for Jack to come in and answer some questions, I could have him be here to kind of
Just
fill
do
in
that.
for that and just. he
Just go
could-
over a
because-
plan or something
And then-
like that?
Yeah, because my
Okay.
concern was if we kept it on the 7th, someone has to be able to run this, and I don't know.
Oh,
That's the only thing, so Jack
Okay.
is a little bit more familiar with it, so,
Oh, perfect.
well,
Okay.
ask him.
yeah.
Yeah.
If he, because that would be a good time for you guys to ask him questions and talk about
Now-
that project.
Is August the one we skip or is it
Yeah, we don't have one. in
August? Okay, all right.
So I will speak with Jack tomorrow and see if that date actually works for him, and if it
Okay.
does. If it doesn't, I'm assuming we'll have to reschedule or just see what everybody's thoughts are on. It's just,
Okay.
as you see, July gets a little crazy, parade and, you know, these other events, so, but I will definitely send an email out once I have confirmation. Nothing else?
Just old business?
Yeah, old business, yep. So we have finally received confirmation. I think this one is gonna stick up, July 22nd. So the concern that we discussed previously is the time. 4 o'clock seemed ideal for everyone. I know some people with work, it may not work out best. I can run it by the family again. I just don't want to throw any kinks in.
Right, to not have. it.
Yeah, so
Right.
I do feel bad though, like I know you wouldn't be able to be there, like is there a chance we could set up like a Zoom call or something, or is there
Well,
anything?
Do we have plans to do anything, like do?
We're just
Yeah.
doing, yeah, what are we doing?
Well, that's the thing, I mean,
Just a
so
ribbon?
we're doing a ribbon cutting, we will have a little,
Plaque, right?
yeah,
Plaque
well,
is-
the plaque is for the Midtown Center, but I was gonna
Okay.
bring it with me, just so
Okay.
that everyone can see it. But in terms of, like, I know Joe mentioned refreshments, I don't know what the plan is, or if anybody had suggestions.
And they were talking about like a basketball tournament or something?
No,
that
that's
day,
out.
or-
That ended up not,
Oh, okay.
that was Tyler had mentioned wanting to pull something together, I don't know if you heard of anything, but that whole thing stopped being talked about, so I did not push it any further,
That's fine, I
but,
just, didn't know.
yeah, but. I
But
know
the sign is,
The sign, yes, oh yeah, we're gonna do the unveiling of the sign,
Okay.
there will be a formal ribbon cutting. I would like to have. So the mayor is gonna be in attendance, I'm still trying to figure out the, order of speakers. You know, I do think that someone from the commission should speak. Whoever,
Usually Steve.
Steve, oh, so you want him, because I was gonna give him a chance, so he'll speak on behalf of the commission.
yeah, because he's, yeah.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
I know.
So in terms of refreshments, I mean, we should try to figure out what that would look like. I can have our maintenance staff bring down a table and tents, you know, just anything that you guys want to suggest or help out with, let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, that, I was thinking the pavilion's there too, could we walk, or, I mean, to help you not have to bring tents down.
Oh,
You
I
just
mean-
mean like, you don't mean like, you just mean like.
Like
the-
the pop-up, the 10 by 10.
Right,
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
right.
okay.
Yeah, because I don't, I mean, July,
Yeah,
it could
I
be a
know.
warm day, I mean,
Right.
it could also rain, and we're doing this rain or shine, so
Yes.
there is a good chance that we
Yeah.
do the ribbon cutting. If it's raining, we'll do it in the rain, we could still then go over to the pavilion. Yeah.
It might be rented though, so maybe that's not.
I
a
can
good
check
idea.
that. It's a Friday, we don't usually get a lot of rentals
Oh,
on
okay.
weekdays, but I can check that,
Especially at that time.
yeah. Um,
It'd be too much to suggest, like, entertainment, like, really needed, or somebody was.
Well, that's right, I mean, how far, like, families travel far? I mean, like, what kind of families coming?
I mean, that I haven't been made aware of.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't, when you're waiting for the family to come, is there a lot of them? Is there, are they expecting something else?
I mean, I could check again with Kevin. I was under the impression it was Kenny's son, and his wife, but you're right, I mean, there could be other people coming that I'm just not aware of.
Yeah, so it's like, do they just come for a 5-minute ceremony and then leave?
Well, let's
Or-
hear, yeah, if you guys have, I would love to hear any suggestions or.
That's what I'm
any,
trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, is it entertainment?
Yeah,
Pretty
so I
cool.
would suggest
Amber
that
Valley,
we
yeah.
could-
Are you guys able to, do you know anyone that we could, you want to see if Andre? Yeah, that's what I mean, if Andre wants to, oh, yeah. I need some help though, I'm gonna be honest, I need people to kind of make calls or like help out, with, because it can end up being a lot on that day to try to get it together on. So if someone wants to help me, I would be more than happy to do all of that. We can do whatever anyone wants to suggest within reason, within budget.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think music would be nice, to have
Yeah.
you can see that the sign.
Because it's been a long time coming.
Absolutely.
We just gotta figure out, I think how many people are gonna be there.
Right.
It's not gonna be that many people.
Right,
We
right.
shouldn't do like that.
yeah, sure,
But we can
sure.
invite people there, we can invite, I mean, this could be, we could try to make it a big.
So the last I spoke with Kevin, I don't think that, I mean, unless something has changed, that wasn't the vibe that I got, that they
Okay.
wanted a large thing.
Okay,
That was, again, it's been a while and a lot of things change back and
Yeah.
forth, so I mean, that's something I can definitely confirm.
Yeah, I think we gotta just confirm
Right.
with the family, because
How
again,
many
like you
people
said, we don't want
are
to throw a
they
big thing if the family doesn't want that.
Right.
Right.
Stuff like, but if the family wants something like that.
'Cause I
we
think
Try to facilitate.
When we were trying to figure out the invitation portion of it, that came up, and I'm pretty sure that the sense that I got was people that knew Kenny, that were
Right.
family, that was more of what I was getting at that time, but again, it's
Yeah.
now been almost a year, so it
Yeah.
could have
Yeah.
definitely changed.
I think maybe if you see if they want it to be open to the public, like if you put a flyer on the Parks and Rec,
Yeah, Facebook.
Facebook, just so
page.
people are aware. even if
that
they
it's
don't
gonna be
know.
there.
If they want to come,
Yeah.
that's,
Right,
oh, yeah,
right,
we can do
right,
that. Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
and maybe if we invite the Freeman so that pictures can be taken, and then you know that it's gonna be in. the
That I
paper.
would love to have
Right.
regardless, I mean, I think they'd be
Tanya.
open, yeah, I think they would be open to one
I would
some
think
sort of-
so.
I think when we've done things like this, it was what the family's wishes were.
Yeah.
Like we did Joe Hoffman to the Hunt Island, and
Right,
I think, their wishes were just to keep it
Right.
quiet.
Simple.
So I mean, maybe we'll just go based
I
on,
thought that was a good turnout.
The which one?
Yeah, that was a really.
oh,
nice-
yeah.
And they want it, I
Yeah.
think, like something.
Well, that's right,
Yeah.
right, exactly.
So it's up to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure with like I said, in my mind, I thought he was trying to do something with the basketball still.
Right.
That, and you're right, that was definitely,
that would have been great.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I will definitely confirm with Kevin if they're still, if they want to give me a list of people to invite specifically, like if
Yeah.
they're saying, these are the groups of people, this is their contact, I can even do that, you know what I mean? Like, but if they say, no, let it fly and put it on Facebook,
Yeah,
we can do that too.
okay.
Yeah. All right, so I can certainly find that out as soon as possible.
Yeah, because there's no softball games on Friday, so I
Right.
don't have to worry about getting,
Yes, yes.
so even like that little bit in the center field, little
Okay.
grassy area.
Yep.
Right.
It's nice.
Maybe we'll just see a pickup game.
Right there, you never know.
Lindsay could play too.
Yes, I don't know if it's gonna be fortunate. The last softball game I did in 2019, I pulled my hamstring. Oh my God. All right, so I can definitely get confirmation on that, in terms of, so let me find out from him first, and then I'll get back to you guys, and then we can figure out what the plan should be from there. Yeah. Guess we should. All right, did you guys, so the other thing on here was election officer, so, but our current chair is not here, and so I think we should probably postpone that.
Yeah,
So next month, and even though I won't be here, I mean,
we could still do that, if we're all here.
so I will try to,
Maybe if we could meet in the park like we've done in the past, on not the 7th per se.
Yeah.
When does the
Right.
program start? The week after? No, the 27th for the,
Yeah, the 27th, yep.
Okay.
So
or
they're,
are we not allowed to?
And
know
when do
because
they
we
end?
have to-
you can, yeah.
When do they end? Because we went last year.
Well, we went.
Yeah, you can still go, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So we could do the visitors.
Yeah, I think that was really,
It was nice.
It was
Talk
nice.
to the kids and counselors.
And the meetings were good too, because
Right.
the counselors had the kids
Yeah.
come
Right.
and tell us about the programs and stuff.
but we went to every,
You went to everywhere.
not every, but we
Oh.
picked we had 2 days, 2 days, right?
Oh, okay. Oh,
Right,
that's
we had
nice,
2
yeah.
days
So it ends the 12th,
of July,
August.
August, okay.
Yeah, it's 7 weeks.
Okay,
All right.
Yep. So at any point, if you guys want to pick a day to do that and split it up like how we did last time, I think 2 people went, certainly do that. And I'll arrange that with the
Okay.
counselors, make sure that they don't have anything, if it's not pool day or.
right, right, okay.
I still see some of the kids, they're like, you came to my park.
I think it was good and it gave us a chance to have some good feedback.
Mm-hmm, salad.
Yeah, that's right.
That was fun.
They did not like
They
salad.
did not, and that was an interesting conversation with the school district, giving
Right.
certain feedback, but
Right, but,
they, they like the constructive criticism.
Right.
They also didn't like that I guess some of the food was being disrespected, some people were throwing
oh,
some
yeah,
items and,
Right.
So we have to do a collective effort to make sure that the kids understand what it means to respect food and counselors understand what it means to
Yes.
respect food,
yeah.
and that we are trying to offer meals that everybody can, as best as possible, do with.
I mean, the menu, is the school district still providing lunch? Because the menu options are very different.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you get to look at them, but
Yeah.
no, the kids don't, like, they were doing,
Yeah.
curry chicken.
Yeah.
And that's you have to just say chicken, they're not used to, they're like, what is that?
Yeah, right, don't tell them apart, that's right.
Right.
But it's a nice variety of
Yeah.
options.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, and I think they put a lot of thought into trying to.
Yeah,
they did.
yeah.
Creative menus. So our staff did meet, we met with, Joey's and, the chef of the school district, so.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so I think that's.
Right, they did.
Did they?
It's very
The one-
fancy.
Bento boxes?
Oh, yeah. No, they really.
Chef salad, with like you
Oh,
guys.
oh. Oh, the chef salad, that was,
No, no,
I didn't want to
no.
say that word. All right, so I guess we'll table then the election for the next one. So the next meeting we will keep for now at July 7th. Hopefully Jack can
Do
be
that.
here and be able to help with the
And
equipment.
we'll do the election.
Yeah, perfect.
All right.
And Lindsay and I were talking about it. Is there a term limit? Do you remember
I think
that?
it is
She says it's 2 years, then that's,
Oh, so there's not,
I don't think,
back to back, right?
right, right. Okay, so then Maureen's out.
So we gotta, yeah, so now have you served before?
No.
No. Oh.
And
Yeah, right, yeah.
I've
So,
said 5 times.
and Joe,
So we have
Right.
three options up for
Yeah.
election. Oh, I can't wait to hear
Very
the
nice
speeches.
option.
oh, there's not.
And for
many speeches.
secretary too.
Oh, right.
That's
right.
Yeah, we do.
I nominate Lindsay.
Right, that's what happens.
Can I just ask, is that automatic?
Yes, yes.
Where is
That's an
that in the
honor.
bylaws?
No one,
I will say that now that we do have the virtual.
so that's easier.
Yeah, there's no, the minutes in the first year was rough, and I was like, that was tough, but, so it's all, happy to see it. All right, so I think we are good and.
Yes, so I have a
Chair?
motion to adjourn.
And we'll see everybody on
All in
Thursday.
favor?
Aye.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks,
You
guys.
guys.